Hello everyone and welcome to the KCG by tracc.eu Season 25-2. This is the KCG Racing League where we bring you just the best of RaceRoom racing. Only the best. Simply the best. As I think Tina Turner once said. That is what we will be having today as well in our championship. This is the third round. As you can see already, we are at Suzuka International Circuit. And we're going into this round with already championship standings of 2 rounds behind us, which we will go into after a short track lap, which will show you the circuit of Suzuka from the version of a TCR.
And here we are for a lap around Suzuka in the Honda Civic TCR. We're on the Honda, one of the Honda tracks on a Honda car, so it's fitting. After we exit from the Castle Triangle, we are going to want to full throttle it, going wider to get the best exit possible. And we are now starting the lap. We're going to approach turn 1. We need to brake at the orange marking on the barrier. As a braking reference, stay tight here. Nice and easy. Now for the S's. Fourth gear. Easy, keep it in fourth. Downshifting into dirt will make us slower. We are going, however, to want to downshift into dirt here. So we are going to have less speed, tighter exit for downlop. Because the tighter exit will allow us to have a better entry into downlop and full throttle it uphill. Now we're going to approach Degner, brake here roughly at the 75. Don't go too wide here on exit, it's very easy to do. Downshifting to third for Degner 2. Don't get too wide here, also very easy to do. We're now going to approach uphill towards the hairpin. We're going to brake at the end of the curb roughly. Second gear. Bit of a late apex if you want. Keep it in second. First gear is going to be too slow. And now we're full throttle down 200R. And we are going to also approach these bunkers. Stay here, use the AstroTurf on entry to get a wider entry. Don't avoid that curb. Avoid that curb like the plague. Now, be sure to not get an off track here on exit. It's actually very easy to do. We are going to want to keep on going towards 130R, that is the other pits. Now, here we just want to lift here. Let the weight transfer do his job, have the rear loose, and now brake before the 100 meters board. Use all the curves available. Here, aggressive on throttle. Full throttle again. And we're now going to roll towards the start-finish line for a lap around Suzuka in the Honda Civic TCR. And it's also a pretty good lap, not going to lie. 2:12.4. Not bad.
And of course, that lap we saw earlier was by Sebastiano Rossi, our current shared championship leader, together with Joe Senna. Unfortunately, it seems that only Sebastiano Rossi of the two has managed to make it here today to the race. There are quite a bunch of TCRs that are out of running today because of several different issues. For example, Julian Metzner in the TCRs unfortunately had a bit of an injury in practice. But yeah, we currently have 5 TCRs connected. Sebastiano Rossi and Joe Senna are going to be participating today, and they are currently on shared championship B1 points with 45 points. Then we have Julian Metzner currently in 3rd, unfortunately not able to participate today due to an injury. And next up in 4th and 5th position, shared, we have Colin Barker and Wilfredo Sevilla. Colin Barker is here today. Wilfredo Sevilla unfortunately also unable to participate today. Both of them are on 21 points. And then we have Sven Mackenberg and Saulius Laurinavicius. Sven Mackenberg is in of the two and is currently in the lead for the TCR times. Both of them are on 16 points right now. And then we have, of course, Boki Obradovic and Zul Akihara to complete the TCR standings. In GT3, currently, the leader of the championship is the leader of the standings. Lucas Fischer, with 40 points, is leading in front of Jiří Kratochvil, who has not set a valid lap yet, but is in the server. Cody Nikola Latkovsky is currently 3rd with 25 points, which are, of course, from the win at round 1 at Laguna Seca. Currently not having set a time yet as well. Torsten Leber is on equal points with Cody Nikola Latkovsky. Both are on 25. Torsten Leber is seemingly not racing today as well. František Štofko, currently in P3, is then next, followed by Marian Satsara and Dave Zitska, Rüdiger Lampe and Marian Koch. Those are the standings right now, and we currently have 6 valid laps for the GT3s. So only Cody Nikola Latkovsky and Jiří Kratochvil are missing there. And Joe Senna is missing from the TCR times. So we are on board right now. We're watching Lucas Fischer, who is about to complete his lap, where he looks to improve. 2 tenths up in the first sector, 1.5 tenths up in the second sector. Lucas Fischer looking to make up quite a bit of time and even further increase the gap to Mike Kirk currently in the qualifying session. Will this be the first 2 flats of the day? Will this be a 2:00 lap time? Lucas Fischer coming across the line now to set a 2:00.926, 1.1 seconds ahead of Mike Kirk. But Cody Nikola Latkovsky sets a lap right behind that, with just being 1.5 tenths down on Lucas Fischer. We're on board now with Rüdiger Lampe, who seems to improve on his lap time. Let's see what this last sector can give to the Mercedes driver from Germany. Tugas Racing comes across the line, improves in front of František Štofko, and pretty much on par now with Mike Kirk. It seems like the two have pretty much the same pace right now, and that was the last lap for Rüdiger Lampe, because of course RaceRoom, as soon as the timer says 0 on the qualifying, it is over. Marian Satsara can finish this final qualifying lap. Still 40 seconds left on the clock, and it seems like Jiří Kratochvil is challenging Lucas Fischer and Cody Nikola Latkovsky. Only just shy of 2 tenths down from the lead. That looks like a very close 3-way battle for the lead. But let's see what Marian Satsara can do. Currently looking to improve on their best time. And comes across to stay in 8th position. But here we have the standings. Lucas Fischer qualifies in P1 for the GT3 standings, followed by Cody Nikola Latkovsky, Jiří Kratochvil, Mike Kirch, Rüdiger Lampe, František Štofko, Timo Reiter, and Merian Satsara. In the TCR, Sven Mackenberg has the pole position in front of Sebastiano Rossi, Colin Barker, Zul Akihara, and Joe Senna. Suzuka, of course, is a rather long circuit, and you can even see that in between the GT3s and the TCRs, there's about an 11-second gap. Like, the TCRs need 11 seconds longer to complete a lap around this circuit. We're using the GP layout this time around. Previously, in the past, we have used the... what was it? There's the East and there's the West layout. But I always mistake them. We have used the one without the S's. That, I think that is the East layout then. Suzuka East layout. Let me quickly look that up. Yes, it's the East layout, exactly. Which, shortly before the Casio triangle turns right, and therefore skips the entire normal main straight, as well as the S's, and then rejoins back into the Degner curves. That is a alternate layout, one that we are not using today. We are using the normal GP layouts that, well, most people should know at least. We're currently in the warm-up session. Just a bit of time to get the drivers acclimated, and there we see a lot of tire smoke coming from that Porsche GT3 in the background, it seems. With 8 GT3s participating today, 5 TCRs, and of course this race is one of 8 in which we are going to crown the next 2 KCG Racing League champions. 1 GT3 driver and 1 TCR driver will be able to get that crown. We will now be able to see a lapping maneuver, lapping practice here in the warm-up session into Degner 2. That was just about enough speed to get past. It is valuable to practice something like this before the race, because there is post-race stewarding. Incidents will be looked at after the race is over by our stewards, and they will be handled subsequently. So people might receive a post-race penalty, which would be added on top of their race time and affect the result here. So yes, the warm-up session is nearly over. At the end of this 3-minute warm-up session, now everyone will be able to line up for the grid, get the final settings done for the setup. A few setup changes might have had to be done. But what's important right now is that everyone lines up on the grid, that everyone gets their preferred position. We of course have a standing start today. So all of the TCRs will be able to use their launch control. The GT3s, of course, they don't have that, but the GT3s will be able to launch away quite well as well, and of course drag away quite quickly. So almost no issue. We are on board with Merian Satsara for the race start, edging forward already. And we are green, and it looks like there was a penalty already at the start. Was that maybe for Marian Satsara for edging forward in the beginning? I don't know. Cody Nikola-Ledkowski, however, seems to have a horrible start. Lucas Fischer and Jiří Kratochvíl are now ahead. Kratochvíl overtaking here on the outside. There's a bit of a banging going on behind between Timo Reiter and right behind that Marian Satsara, and that was again a penalty flashed up. However, Rüdiger Lampe also seems to have lost out quite a bit in the start. Now in last position. Timo Reiter now on the rear of František Štofko. Both of them made up a position to go past Rüdiger Lampe at the start. However, will any one of them do a move here into the Degners? It would not be the wisest of decision, as we see here in the TCRs. Sebastiano Rossi is already directly on the rear of Sven Mackenberg. It looks like there is going to be a move happening soon. Let's see, can there be a move made here into the hairpin? Not yet. Further up ahead, we have a side-by-side action. Jiří Kratochvíl and Lucas Fischer are side-by-side. And it seems like Jiří Kratochvíl has gotten the position done. Lucas Fischer now only in second, and directly followed by Cody Nikola-Ledkowski. This is going to be challenging for the German to get back the position, being challenged by such a quick driver as is Nikola-Ledkowski. On this straight, oh, this is going to be dangerous. Let's see who has the higher top speed between the two. Will it be the Ferrari of Lucas Fischer or the Porsche of Cody Nikola-Ledkowski? It seems like Nikola-Ledkowski not able to get out of the slipstream here. Oh, into 130R. And, oh, there's bits of going wide here in the back. It seems like Marian Satsara went wide. And what is that? That is a hugely damaged Mercedes. What just happened? Oh no, that is so unfortunate for Marian Satsara. Seems to have collected the sidewall, and now, oh my god, there's the entire front of the car that is missing. Very unfortunate for Marian Satsara. In the meantime, we have TCR battles going on here. Joe Senna defending from Colin Barker, defending from Zula Kihara. This is a three-way battle. Zula Kihara going very wide here on the exit behind Colin Barker. Colin Barker, however, also seemingly losing the line a bit now. Quite a lot behind Joe Senna. Well, still within a second, however, has to come back and make up the position. In the meantime, it seems that Sebastiano Rossi has made a pass on Sven Mackenberg. Sven Mackenberg now only in the second position. Sebastiano Rossi is still leading the race. In the meantime, we have the continued battle here in the top three for the GT3 class. We have Lucas Fischer still defending from Cody Nikola-Ledkowski. This is a battle for P2 in class right now, and of course the battle for the first follower for Jiří Kratochvíl. Cody Nikola-Ledkowski really dominated the first race around Laguna Seca, and now wants to be able to continue that after having had a DNF last time around. But first, he has to get past the German wunderkind of Lucas Fischer. Behind, we also have František Štofko catching up to Timo Reiter, now losing a bit of time in the braking zone. Let's go back forward to Cody Nikola-Ledkowski. And now in the start-finish straight to start the third lap of the race. Jiří Kratochvíl is going to look at this battle behind him and is going to say, "Wow, good, continue battling, I want to drive away." However, Cody Nikola-Ledkowski and Lucas Fischer, they both don't want that. So here's now a decision that both of them can take. Either they will try to fight each other, or they will try to catch up to Jiří Kratochvíl. Well, it just depends on who has the pace to keep up with the Czech driver. Both of them will think that they have the pace, otherwise Fischer wouldn't be defending as he is to Ledkowski. And Ledkowski also thinks that he has the pace, though he wants to overtake. Quite a simple decision for either of them. just be in front. However, it's Lucas Fischer that currently has the position. Krolotkovski really close, however, now. Can he do anything into the hairpin? No, not close enough for any move into the hairpin. Further behind, we have Colin Barker catching up to Joe Senna. This is the battle then for P3 in class. But Cody Nikololotkovski, oh, really on the tail. We're coming up into Spoon curve now, Spoon corner. And let's see, and the exit of Spoon, who has a tighter line. It looks like Nikololotkovski has the better line on exit. Can he capitalize on that? Oh boy, defensive lines here being driven as Lucas Fischer goes back to the normal racing line. Cody Nikololotkovski this time around none the wiser. No opportunity to be had to overtake. Further behind, we also have Timo Reiter catching up to Mike Kirk. This is the battle for P4 in the GT3 class, and it seems that Marian Satsara, after the enormous crash that we saw earlier, unfortunately had to DNF. Cody Nikololotkovski, oh, so close to Lucas Fischer. So close, but yet so far, because it doesn't matter how close you are if you cannot do an overtake. However, both of them seemingly being able to catch up right now to Eugene Kratochvil. Maybe Kratochvil had an error earlier. Timo Reiter as well is really close on Mike Kirch right now. The BMW versus the Mercedes. This is going to be the battle of the German brands. Who can win this? We go ahead. We see another German car, the Porsche, of course, of Cody Nikololotkovski. So close again to the Ferrari, but not close enough to go for a move here into the hairpin. He still tries it. He's on the inside. Cody Nikololotkovski is now on the inside. Good exit here, but Lucas Fischer is still side by side with Latkovski. Lucas Fischer is going to hang it around the inside. However, Latkovski having made the move stick now. Now it's a catch-up battle. Latkovski will want to catch up to Kratochvil to go for the win of this race. Let's see if Lucas Fischer can stay in the slipstream of this. Cody Nikololotkovski will want to drive away and challenge Yuji Kratochvil. And as we see, winners of the race so far are Joe Senna, Timo Reiter and Yuji Kratochvil, all of them making up 2 positions from where they started on the grid. František Štofko also wants to improve his position. He is looking at the 2 other German brands ahead. Do we have all of the German brands here today? We have Mercedes, BMW, Audi, Porsche is up ahead. We have a Volkswagen even in the TCRs. It's looking good for the Germans today. Quite a lot of visibility for their cars. As we see, it seems like Mike Kirch just has a bit of a slower line on the entry into the S's than Timo Reiter. Timo Reiter wanting to go for an overtake because of that. Because he sees, there is opportunity for me to go quicker here. However, it seems like in the rest of the circuits, there is not that much difference between the 2. Which will be all the more aggravating for Timo Reiter, who wants to just go past to go quicker, even if it's just on that 1 spot around the circuit. And he sends it into the hairpin. On point though with the brakes. Easy overtake there by the German driver. Timo Reiter is now ahead, up into P4. And Mike Kirch, well, that's not all for Mike Kirch, because he's being followed by František Štofko in the Audi and Rüdiger Lampe in another Mercedes. But Mike Kirch, seemingly on the exit here of the Spoon corner, has caught up to Timo Reiter. Oh, Timo Reiter very defensive. Kirch has an opportunity here for having taken a better line, trying to go for the inside to attack. However, he's getting attacked himself, and it seems like Reiter locks up the brakes here a bit. There's smoke coming from that BMW as Mike Kirch is unable to make a move stick. But the Audi right behind is edging ever closer, and we have to go to the front now because Cody Nikola Latkovsky has caught up to Jiří Kratochvil and is going for a move already here before the S's even. Oh, it seems like Latkovsky really wants to make this move overtake as quickly as possible to have loads of opportunity to just drive away from the rest of the grid. There's a bit of sideways action there by Jiří Kratochvil deciding for the racing line after the SS section. We're coming up into the Degners now. Degner 1, Degner 2. Oh, they're seemingly pretty even through there. Will there be enough? It seems like Cody Nikola Latkovsky cannot put the same attack on Kratochvil right now. Seems like the brake of the Porsche are going really well though. Latkovsky almost rear-ending Kratochvil there, having to go for a bit of an outside line there, a bit of a wider entry into the hairpin. However, getting really close now again in the slipstream, of course, on this high-pace section. Now through Spoon Corner, what can Latkovsky do on exit? Tight line! Beautiful tight exit line by Latkovsky. Will this be enough? Kratochvil going for the defensive line. Kratochvil on the inside for 130R. Going back to the racing line, however. Will Latkovsky go to the inside for 130R? No, he thinks better of it. On exit, it seems that Kratochvil has gained a bit of a safe ground back from Latkovsky. However, it seems like it's only a matter of time until something happens here. Latkovsky getting really close to Kratochvil, who is in the lead of the race. In the lead for the GT3 class. All of them are very bunched up. I say all of them, but the two of them. However, there's a second battle going on right now where Fanatec Stofko is catching up to Mike Kirch. They are also really close right now. But Cody Nikola Latkovsky, look at how close this is. On the exit, it seems that usually Kratochvil gained a bit more of a safety buffer. František Stofko, however, does not lay off the pressure of the Mercedes of Mike Kirch. Out of Degner to Nikola Latkovsky. Still in the rear of Jiří Kratochvil. And they two come together, they touch. But it seems that both of the cars stay settled, and all of this battling, usually Kratochvil going defensive and Nikola Latkovsky going aggressive, has helped Lucas Fischer to get back into this battle. This is now a top three. Well, three-way battle for the P1 position. However, it seems that Lucas Fischer is only there on merit right now because the cars ahead are battling. And back to the TCRs, it seems that Colin Barker is catching up with Joe Senna right now. Colin Barker, of course, will want to take this position away from Joe Senna to go on the podium. As we go back up ahead, Jiří Kratochvil going defensive, Cody Nikola Latkovsky going side by side through the Casio triangle, however not able to capitalize on it through there. Oh, that is a door shut by the Czech driver. The North Macedonian not finding a way through, and now it's a... they are all bumper to bumper. It seems that Latkovsky able to slot back in here for T1. Behind we see Rüdiger Lampe trying to make an overtake on František Stofko. It seems the two had a bit of an issue, maybe a bit of coming together, as they are now 2 seconds behind the next driver, Mike Kirch. Cody Nikola Latkovsky. What can he do? What more can he do at this point? Seems like he has been trying almost everything already. But there's nothing going on. As you see, there's a yellow flag for František Štofko. Oh no, it seems that he went off circuit and collected the hay bale there on the inside. Oh, that might be some major damage to the Audi. As the three-way battle for the lead continues, the GT3s are challenging one another. Cody Nikola Latkovsky being followed by Lucas Fischer, and both of them want to take this position away from our current leader, Jiří Kratochvil. Latkovsky catching up on the straight in the slipstream, showing himself in the rear mirror, but Kratochvil not letting that bother him a single bit. Kratochvil going a normal line. It's nothing is close enough right now for a move between the three. As we go back and we see Timo Reiter being followed by Mike Koch. And on the start-finish straight, very defensive line by Jiří Kratochvil. Latkovsky is on the outside. This is not the best line to be, because this is a very long right-hand corner. How he sticks it around on the outside. Will it still be side-by-side on the exit? He will still be side-by-side coming into the S section. Oh, this is going to be... They're still side by side in the middle of the S's. Lucas Fischer's looking at this from behind and cannot believe his eyes. Neither can I, as it seems that Kratochvil has finally edged out enough of an advantage to make it single file once again through the S's section. Oh no, they are not giving each other a single inch. Latkovsky. Now that didn't work, but it was close enough, you will think. Oh, very late on the brakes, having to go for a wider entry line once again. We have seen this once before today. Let's take a look. Oh, quite. Oh, that looks like a big lockup there by our TCR leader, Sebastiano Rossi, who is currently coming up to the start-finish line. Let's see where our leaders are in regards to that. It seems that the first lapping action will be coming sooner rather than later, maybe within the next 1.5, 2 laps. Jiří Kratochvil. Oh, this is now the attack. This is now the attack on the inside. 130R. It seems that Cody Nikola Latkovsky going for it. Not quite enough side by side to make it stick. Jiří Kratochvil. Oh, he's on the outside. And he's making the move. But Kratochvil better line through the second half of the Casio Triangle. Being able to defend. Somehow able to defend there. Oh, look at the defensive line. He doesn't give a car with space there. And Lucas Fischer is also getting impatient. Wants to do something about the situation. Latkovsky sending it around the outside. Oh, but it's still not enough. It might be enough this time. They are still side by side once again into the S section. Kratochvil gaining the advantage back, however, quite easily. Lucas Fischer looking at this, trying not to interfere too much. Because, as you know, if two are fighting, the third one has the happy times. That was a horrible translation, a horrible butchered translation of a German saying. I'm very sorry for that, but Jiří Kratochvil is not going to be sorry for defending like this, because this is about the win. This is about 25 championship points that Jiří Kratochvil is going for, and he will want to achieve that in front of Cody Nikola Latkovsky, who has won the first race, and with such valor, with such distance to P2, that honestly, staying in front of Latkovsky like this for as long as Kratochvil is doing right now is already very impressive defending from the Czech. Let's look at it through the eyes of Lucas Fischer for a while. We have the Ferrari trying to follow as... Oh, is there going to be a move again into 130R? It seems there's going to be a move, and they slightly touch maybe. But, oh wow, this battle is allowing Lucas Fischer to come back into the fight. And apparently I've just been taught there's a Dutch saying where dogs fight for the bone and the third dog takes it home. Well, that's an interesting saying. As we see, oh, there's a coming together, the two touch. What happened here? Nikola Latkovsky slightly ramming into the rear of Kratochvil, it seems, losing out the most in this battle, and now has to do it all over again as Lucas Fischer is now in P2 behind Kratochvil. Kratochvil still in the lead. Kratochvil is still in the lead, followed by Lucas Fischer, who's now 8 tenths down, and Nikola Latkovsky 1.7 seconds down on that. In the meantime, we have another battle going on between Colin Barker, who's still following Joe Senna. Joe Senna, of course, has a huge success ballast for the race today, simply because of the previous two results having been a win and a second position. And yes, Dutch is a very interesting language. I have found that out through many memes. Many memes fly around in the void, showing the Dutch language being as beautiful as it is. Unfortunately, we don't have any Dutch drivers in the field today who could appreciate it, but we have quite a lot of tire smoke here. Sebastiano Rossi coming onto the start-finish straight. And we all still see the tire smoke here for Jiří Kratochvil. The first lapping has already happened as Zula Kihara has been lapped by the leaders of the GT3 class. So now it's getting interesting. They already had 2 races to practice how to lap. The first one, maybe not the best one to try it, was Laguna Seca, and the second one, Dubai Autodrome. That is a lot of practice for the drivers to deal with lapping situations. Now Jiří Kratochvil is going to realize that soon the bulk of the TCR traffic is going to be in the way. In the way of him driving away from his competitors, Lucas Fischer and Nikola Latkovsky, who all have gotten closer together once again. But lap traffic does not only bring risk, it also brings opportunity. Lap a TCR in the correct place, and you can get a bit more of a gap to the car behind. Let's see when Jiří Kratochvil will be able to catch up to the TCRs, or will Lucas Fischer be earlier there to catch up, or will Latkovsky be there earlier to catch up? Oh, look at this. The 3 are so close back together, and we see the TCRs out of shot already. It's 35 minutes left in the race, and these 3, which have been battling so hard for the entire race basically, now witness the tire smoke. The smoke wall of doom by the TCRs, as Lucas Fischer now has to go defensive again to not get picked off by Latkovsky, which lets Jiří Kratochvil get a bit of a gap again. Latkovsky wanting to get past Fischer now once again, as we see the first TCRs are being lapped. Kratochvil is now past Colin Barker, who has been battling Joe Senna. Everyone here will be wanting to get this over rather quickly. Lucas Fischer going now around, and Latkowski going around the outside of Colin Barker into this next corner. And very good position for Kratochvil to lap, because this is a horrible place to overtake if you don't get led past. Oh, it seems like Joe Senna wanting to go opting for the outside, which causes Latkowski to go onto the grass. But this is giving some time to Lucas Fischer, who now knows, oh boy, I have 5 seconds behind to Latkowski, and Kratochvil still has to deal with the TCRs here. That is the TCR of Sven Mackenberg, P2. No overtaking happening in the hairpin. Sven Mackenberg doesn't let that happen, but Lucas Fischer now on acceleration easily overtakes. 1.2 seconds behind Kratochvil. And how can Latkowski navigate the traffic? It seems to work rather well between the two. Lucas Fischer, however, usually Kratochvil caught up in a bad place behind Sebastiano Rossi. This will allow Lucas Fischer the possibility that he wanted, the possibility, the opportunity that he needed this entire time, getting very close to Jiří Kratochvil now, and Latkowski is a ways away. The two are side by side now. Lucas Fischer on the outside, not able to capitalize off this situation right now, as it seems that Jiří Kratochvil, I mean, he has seen more fierce attacks even in this race. In the same corner, Cody Nicola Latkowski going side by side with him twice earlier into the Casio triangle. He is looming in the background there. The Porsche is looming, but he first needs to navigate. Sebastiano Rossi, the leader of the TCRs, who is not known to let faster class drivers just by out of sheer yeah, just because he wants to. That is not a thing in his vocabulary, as it is neither in mine, it seems. Lucas Fischer has to catch up to Kratochvil some more, however, to get the opportunity for an overtake. And he will want to overtake because he has seen how well Kratochvil can defend from Latkowski. If Fischer can make the overtake stick, would Latkowski ever make it past the Czech driver? That is the question. And that is something that Lucas Fischer will want to find out by overtaking for P1. Colin Barker is also getting closer to Joe Senna. It seems that the battle for P3 here is getting closer in the TCR class. Joe Senna, of course, one of the shared championship leaders in the TCR, shared with Sebastiano Rossi, who is currently 2 positions ahead. This would give Rossi, if my maths doesn't fail me, a nice 9-point lead if the positions were to stay the same as they are right now. However, we still have 5 rounds left after this. The next lap being the Nürburgring GP layout. A more common, well, is a bit different from Suzuka. I wouldn't say more common in sim racing. It's just a bit different. Maybe that might suit Joe Senna better, and also balance of success will come into play as well for that, as it is here, but there will be a changed balance of success for the next round, of course. P1 gets 14 kilograms added, P2 gets 10 kilograms added, P3 gets 6 kilograms added for the next round, and for the round after that, these penalties are halved. So if a driver wins 2 races in a row, he will have 21 kilograms of ballast for the third race. 7 kilograms still left over from the first race, and 14 from the previous race. As we're now on the half-hour mark, half of the race is now done. Let's take a look at the positions everyone is in. Jiří Kratochvil is still leading, right ahead of Lucas Fischer, and Cody Nikola Latkowski, after going a bit off track earlier in some backmarker shenanigans, lapping shenanigans, is in P3 in the GT3 class. Timo Reiter is currently in a rather lonely P4. Mike Koch 4 seconds behind that in P5. Rüdiger Lampe trying to catch up to Mike Koch in P6 of the GT3 class. František Stofko, after having had an incident earlier, is ways behind in P7. And Marian Satsara unfortunately DNF'd in the GT3 class. For the TCRs, we have Sebastiano Rossi leading the race, in front of Sven Mackenberg, who is about 2.5 seconds down. Joe Senner is a further about 5 seconds down and is directly being challenged by Colin Barker. And Zul Akihara is in 5th position, having had issues of their own. However, it looks like 2 battles are heating up right now. Lucas Fischer is getting really close to Jiří Kratochvil. Let's see through the S's. Usually the exit of the S's was a strong point for Kratochvil when compared to Latkowski. Let's see how Lucas Fischer can challenge this. Both of these are Ferraris, of course, so they have the same hardware underneath their buttocks. But what can Lucas Fischer do? Can he find a way past Kratochvil? Oh, Latkowski in the background, they're really sliding on the exit of Degner too. I had to thought about that for a second here. But look at him, he is close, and he will want to make the overtake as quickly as possible, simply because that would mean he has a car between himself and Latkowski. And not only that, but also a car that has had troubles getting past Latkowski. And it seems that there has been an issue for Joe Senna, as he's now 2.5 seconds behind Colin Barker, which means Barker is now in P3 for the TCR class. Let's see what Lucas Fischer can do. Seems that there's a bit of a lockup maybe into the Casio triangle, as Lucas Fischer tries to get a good exit here in the slipstream, of course. Let us see what he can do in the slipstream. Will it be enough to catch up to Kratochvil? Catch up, yes, but side by side, no. And Latkowski is edging ever closer. Usually Kratochvil made an error. That is something that is not often seen. Kratochvil usually such a, I want to say, composed driver who knows what he's doing, who's very consistent every lap, made an error here into T1, allowing Lucas Fischer basically giving away the position for free. And this means now that Latkowski has another car to contend with before going up ahead, but Kratochvil is challenging Fischer directly. And immediately, and it seems like Latkowski is taking that to his advantage. Latkowski moving past Kratochvil. So late on the brakes. So much tire smoke coming off of that Porsche as Latkowski. This is how easy an overtake can happen sometimes. And this is what Latkowski would have wished for earlier, probably, most likely. But now he has to overtake Lucas Fischer. That was seemingly done easier earlier in the race. There has already been an overtake between Latkowski and Fischer, where Latkowski ended up taking the position away from Fischer. That was for P2. Now it's for P1, however. And it seems that Fischer's going defensive. Latkowski will want to try for the switchback, but middle of the road for Fischer, and Kratochvil goes for the inside of Latkowski. All three of them seem to be side by side. Whoa! Gratochwil going into the rear here of Latkowski, wanting to take advantage of the situation. Very defensive line here by Lucas Fischer, however, will allow Latkowski to take the outside line. However, will it be enough to go for P1? It does not seem like that. He is braving it around the outside. The two catch. The wheel arches touch, however, it was not enough side by side for Latkowski to get the position done. Gratochwil challenging P2 now again, however, not able to take the position right now. Oh wow, it seems like they are not giving each other a centimeter. I've gone down now from an inch to a centimeter. There's no breathing space, neither for the racers nor for the commentator today, it seems. Cody Nicola, let's go. Oh, that's very wide. That looked to be very wide there by Lucas Fischer, allowing an opportunity for Latkowski to go to the outside, braking very late, outbraking himself, which lets Gratochwil by. Not quite though. Latkowski being able to take the position because of the outside line, having had the opportunity for more momentum. Lucas Fischer defending the inside. Latkowski not able to capitalize before Spoon. Into Spoon is also not an opportunity. This has to be done on the straight after Spoon at the earliest. This is the back straight now. The second pit straight. Very defensive line being taken again by Lucas Fischer. He will not want Latkowski to get past. Latkowski taking the outside line, however, and dragging Gratochwil with him. Oh, it seems that Lucas Fischer has it still, but the outside line belongs to Latkowski. And Gratochwil is right behind it as well. Latkowski is past. He is past. And Gratochwil goes off track. However, they're still side by side, it seems. The Ferrari and the Porsche. Now it's coming down to the straight line. This is very close between the two. Will the Ferrari be able to pull into the side by side here? Latkowski is just so strong on the brakes. We see that in the hairpin. We also see that here in T1. Latkowski has now finally been able to get into P1. How many tries has it taken? And after just about 38 minutes of continuous trial and error, it has finally worked out as Gratochwil has crashed. It seems like there has been an issue for Gratochwil now, who went off circuit. This will light up the eyes of Timo Reitzer, who saw that, who witnessed that directly. Only 2.5 seconds now behind Gratochwil. Maybe that has gotten Gratochwil out of the rhythm. The Czech driver will have to get back into it after being put into P3 right now. Lucas Fischer being able to stay with Latkowski for now. So far not able to go for an overtake. And it will be hard. It will be a challenge to overtake Latkowski, because the North Macedonian currently has the fastest lap on the track with a 2:01.2 race. That is race pace. That is a very good race pace. Lucas Fischer only a 2:02.3, whereas Jiří Gratochwil a 2:01.8. And it seems that Jiří Gratochwil is immediately back in the rhythm, as Timo Reitzer not really able to make headway on the Czech driver. Sebastiano Rossi in the TCR class, still leading and able to eke out an ever slighter advantage, an ever better advantage against Sven Mackenberg, who is in P2. Sebastiano Rossi has the best lap out of all of the TCRs with a 2:12.9, followed by Sven Mackenberg with a 2:13.1. And we have Colin Barker and Joe Senna both in the 2:13.0s, and Zula Kahara with the 2:13.9. It seems like these first 4 people, if they were just closer together, as Kratochwil is off! Kratochwil has lost it. Where are we right now? This is in the Degnas. Oh yeah, that is a sketchy section. If you take too much of the inside curb at Degna 1, that is going to... Oh, that is going to hurt. That is really going to hurt the ambitions of Kratochwil, who is now only in P6. Has been overtaken by Reiter, Köch and Lampe. This means that Reiter in the BMW has been promoted into P3 with just 19.5 minutes to go. Lucas Fischer still able to keep up with Latkovsky. However, so far, not able to go for an overtake. Let's go on board with Lucas Fischer for a while. Would you listen to that Ferrari engine? That is the 296 GT3 engine that we just heard. Just because I'm curious, let's take a listen to the Audi engine as well. That was František Štofko's Audi engine on the start-finish straight. Body Nikola Latkovsky still in the lead right now. Being able to keep Lucas Fischer not only at bay, but to extend the lead. Now above a second. Jiří Kratochwil in the meanwhile, trying to make up positions. Has to contend with Rüdiger Lampe first, who is not a slow driver, not by any means. So it will not be an easy time for Kratochwil to quote-unquote just pass Rüdiger Lampe. It will just be a matter of how headstrong Lampe will be, being faced with the previous race's winner on their tail. First, Kratochwil will have to catch up to Lampe. There is still slightly above a 1 second gap between the two. It seems like the might have been an error for Sven Mackenberg, as he is now almost 7 seconds behind Sebastiano Rossi. So the lead for Rossi looks to be rather secure right now. Just shy of 7 seconds ahead of Sven Mackenberg. Seems that Timo Reitzer is not able to keep the pace of the two cars ahead. 11 seconds behind Lucas Fischer now, and Mike Köch is getting closer. Just shy of 4 seconds behind the German. Timo Reiter, by the way, seeming to be the winner from the starting grid so far, having made up 4 positions. Beautiful, beautiful job by Reiter to improve so much upon their original qualifying position. Or it looks like Jiří Kratochwil is catching up to Rüdiger Lampe, who in turn is catching up to Mike Köch. We might have a 3-way battle coming soon here for P4. Never thought I would have said that today. Jiří Kratochwil battling for P4, potentially. But first he will have to catch up to Rüdiger Lampe. But look at what Lampe is seeing. He is seeing Mike Köch right up ahead there. That is the Mercedes brother that he wants to overtake. There can only be one best Mercedes in the grid. And with Satsara already, unfortunately, out of the race due to an incident in lap 1. Oh, would you listen to that Mercedes engine? He wants it. He wants the honor of being the top Mercedes today. But Jiří Kratochvil still wants to be the top Ferrari, I guess, which will be a hard job to accomplish now, being about 18 seconds behind Lucas Fischer, who is the other Ferrari in P2 right now. But there's not a reason to give up. Every point counts. Of course, we are also racing for VRP right now. Top 3 championship finishes for each class in the end of the championship will get a 500 VRP code, as will a random further participant in the championship. Per class, of course. Jiří Kratochvil edging ever closer. Ever closer to the opponents of Rüdiger Lampe. We see ahead Mike Koch has to deal with lap traffic once again. It's going to be the second lapping phase started out here by Zula Kihara. Oh, that is a close shave here. And it seems that Jiří Kratochvil wants to take the opportunity here immediately and does so. Immediately overtaking Rüdiger Lampe by having a better exit out of 130R after both of them had to contend with the back marker. Well, the slower class car of Zula Kihara. Let's see, the next car is on the road. Joe Senna and Latkovsky will come up to Senna very soon indeed. So we'll have to see how he can contend with the rest. Joe Senna getting out of the way here, leaving Latkovsky the inside on the hairpin. Simple move here for Latkovsky. Lucas Fischer will be the next one who also has to get past the Algerian driver. And Latkovsky will next have to contend with Colin Barker, seemingly in a good position right now. On the back straight, this will be a pretty easy move for the two. Rüdiger Lampe has lost a bit of ground on Jiří Kratochvil. Kratochvil, however, also not really gaining much on Mike Koch right now. So it's rather stuck a bit, Kratochvil right now, it seems. Pretty much in a Mercedes sandwich here. Very loose sandwich, to be fair, but still a sandwich nonetheless. With about 10.5 minutes left in this race, Cody Nikola Latkovsky is currently contending with the slower class traffic of the TCRs. That was Sven Muckenberg. He went past, and next up will be Sebastiano Rossi. Lucas Fischer currently in second position, just 4 seconds down the road. And Timo Reiter, after the incident of Kratochwil earlier, in T3. The TCRs we currently have Sebastiano Rossi in the lead. Strong showing so far by the Italian racer in the Italian car. I mean, it's sort of just fitting as we see Cody Nikola Latkovsky coming up to lap. Simply done on the entry into Spoon Curve. Kratochwil is edging closer to Mike Koch. Mike Koch then, however, is 4 seconds down the road from Timo Reiter. So it seems that Jiří Kratochwil will have to make a move very quickly here if he wants any chance of getting back into P3 at least, which would place him where he qualified. First off, he will have to catch up to Mike Koch. Oh, and there's a lot of tire smoke coming up there in the front. As Kratochwil, who we know is good when breaking into the Cassia Triangle, makes up a bit of time here. Is it now close enough to get some slipstream already? Just a second behind. It seems to be a bit too much right now between the two to get any slipstream. But Mike Koch is now coming up to Sebastiano Rossi. Is that... No, that's not Sebastiano Rossi, that is Joe Senna. Right. So Mike Koch needing to navigate the traffic, not able to do here so far. This is not looking good for Mike Koch, because this means he's stuck behind the TCR, and Kratochwil will immediately try and go for it on the inside, on the exit of the SS, and also immediately goes past the TCR. Beautifully done by Jiří Kratochwil as... Oh, what was going on here? Bit of a kerfuffle between the TCR and the GT3 here. Mike Koch having had issues to get past, which means Rüdiger Lampe is now in the slipstream of Mike Koch. This is the opportunity that Lampe has been waiting for a long time now. Within a second of Mike Koch. Will he be able to make up the position? There are more slower class cars up ahead. It seems that Colin Barker is the next one on the list. And we'll have to see how Mike Koch can contend with that this time. Going for the inside here, easier done than last time. Outbrakes himself a bit, however stays ahead easily of the TCR. And right behind we have Rüdiger Lampe also going past. On the exit of the corner, however, it seems that Lampe has gained a bit of time through that lapping of Colin Barker. The gap is now half a second between Koch and Lampe. The battle for P5. This is still a battle for 11 points. 11 versus 10 points, right? I think so. And obviously, in the end, every point might count. So Rüdiger Lampe will want to take the chance, he will want to take the opportunity to move past Koch as they're coming up to Sven Muckenberg right now. the TCR. Mike Kirch going to the inside for this. Oh, Sven Markenberg just letting them pass without an issue. Sees that there's a battle between the two and doesn't want to interfere with it. Well, it seems that through all of that, Mike Kirch had the better exit out of the hairpin. Yes, the hairpin. So Rüdiger Lampe now a bit further behind. Will it be enough for a slipstream here? Let's go on board again with Rüdiger Lampe. Let's take a look. It seems that he is not gaining any time on the straight. Not close enough for the slipstream. Has to catch up a bit more through corners. But the two will be coming up soon. We already see the smoke screen being deployed by the leader of the TCR, Sebastiano Rossi. Let's see this. Seems to be an easy move here for Mike Kirch. Oh, this might be bad for Rüdiger Lampe, being stuck behind the TCR for the exit here of turn 2. Now moving past afterwards. But lost quite a lot of time. Lost about half a second to Mike Kirch there. This puts Lampe quite a lot back. And Jiří Kravcov will also has made up moves, but I don't know if it's close enough. 2.5 seconds now, up from 5, which it was earlier when Kravcov overtook Kirch. Oh, very wide there on exit of Degner 2. 2.5 seconds between Timo Reiter and Jiří Kravcov. Will he be able to catch up? It seems to be 2 more laps. Yes, it looks to be 2 more laps. Cody Nikola Latkovsky, currently being in 130R, will get around to start the penultimate lap just after these 3 corners. 1, 2, and 3. Since the lap time is about 2 minutes and 1 second. This is the penultimate lap. Lap 29 being started. The final lap will be lap 30. Now it's a question. In these 2 laps, will that be enough for Kravcov to catch up and overtake Reiter? And will it be enough for Lampe to get closer to Kirch and overtake again? The two are closer now again. Lampe has really been pushing it. Let's see. What are the lap times between the two? 2:03. Both are in the 2:03.3s for their last lap. The gap seems to be a steady 8, between 8 and 9/10 or now a bit bigger as they take different lines. Through the S's, Rüdiger Lampe on exit. Now it's when it counts. It's down to 7/10 and looks to be decreasing. Rüdiger Lampe is catching. Let's take a look at these next few corners. The Degners are always a time saver. It's very seldom an overtaking opportunity, but can often be a time saver or a time loss, regarding on who you are. The hairpin. Wow, a hard corner to get the line right, and it seems that Mike Kirch got a better exit line out of the hairpin. To get back up to 8/10. Lampe maybe having a bit of a lower downforce setup, because able to catch up just a bit. Let's see, however, on the exit here of Spoon. It seems that Kirch has the advantage here. And Cody Nikola Latkovsky has started the final lap of the race. This has been a great performance once again by Latkowski, seeming to want to repeat what happened in the first round. Of course, there was at Laguna Seca where Latkowski won with, I think it was over 20 seconds of difference to P2. Currently 9 seconds ahead of Lucas Fischer, who is in P2. Edging to 10 now. Timo Raita seeming to be in a rather safe P3 at the moment, as the timer is down on 0. This is the final lap, and Cody Nikola Latkowski is leading the way. Where's Sebastiano Rossi right now? Just came across the line for another lap. This will be the last TCR lap as well. Unchallenged by Sven Mackenberg, who is over 7 seconds behind. Rüdiger Lampe now wanting to catch up a bit. Coming up to the hairpin. It seems the line was again better for Mike Koch here. As we go back to Cody Nikola Latkowski. The second win. Seemingly one more corner to go. Yes. And that is Cody Nikola Latkowski, your race winner for the Japanese T-Prix. Latkowski has found the second win in this season after Laguna Seca, and a DNF last time in Dubai. Back to the winning ways. Lucas Fischer is in P2, going for a bit of celebratory donuts here. And Timo Reiter coming across for P3. Jiří Kratochvil in P4. Not quick enough to catch up to... Timo Reiter is really happy about this. Really celebrating the situation. Mike Koch coming across the line for P5. Rüdiger Lampe, P6. And František Stofko coming around after having had an issue where they collided with the hay bales. Coming across the line in P7. Sebastiano Rossi is taking his second win this season in the TCR class, which will put him quite a ways ahead of his championship rival right now. Sven Mackenberg finishing in P2. Colin Barker finishing in P3. And the championship rival number 1 for Sebastiano Rossi, Joe Senna, only finishing in P4. And of course, finally we have Zul Akihara, who has a few more corners left to go. 130R, nice. Now only the Casio triangle and the last corner left to go. So let's take a look. Beautiful. Now through the last corner, and he is on the start-finish straight. So once again, Cody Nikola Latkowski, not only the race win, the second race win this season for the North Macedonian driver, but also the fastest lap with a 2:00.834. Lucas Fischer is second in the GT3 class, followed by Timo Reiter. And the top 3 in the TCR class are Sebastiano Rossi, Sven Mackenberg, and Colin Barker. Now all of those drivers will receive balance of success penalty, success ballast for the next round, which will happen today in a week. Today in a week will be the 4th round, same time, at the Nürburgring. That will be the German T-Prix. the German T-Prix, where quite a lot can happen in terms of the championship standings and will happen. But so far, it looks like Lucas Fischer is still in the lead of the GT3 standings after this round. And Sebastiano Rossi has now widened the gap to Joe Senna from 0 points to, I think, 11 points between the two. Beautiful showing by all of the drivers involved. Lovely race, lovely battling, especially between the trio of Fischer, Kratochvil, and Latkowski. Now, after seeing this, all I can say is see you next week, next round at the Nürburgring, where more racing of the KCG Racing League will happen. Thank you for watching, and see you on the racetrack.